Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Life in the Fast Lane. I am Andy Lang from WagerTalk.com. With Formula One on break, we're NASCAR only. And so we're going to go over Michigan, and then we're going to get into Richmond. We got our best bet at the end of the show, and we had a really, really nice winner last week, Truex over William Byron. That was a 4% play for me up on WagerTalk.com. We talked about Martin Truex and kind of fading William Byron. Unfortunately, the books may have caught up this week. We're not getting great lines against William Byron, but we do have a really solid best bet. Once again, guys, please keep leaving your comments. Give me your picks. Let me know what you guys are betting. You guys know I love seeing all that activity below. And shout out to Steve Merrill. Richmond is one of his favorite tracks. I believe it's his home track. Shout out to Rocky. And as Steve always says, the NASCAR audience may be the most knowledgeable about the sport of any show that we do on Wager Talk. So let me know what you guys are thinking and who you like. Let's go over a quick Michigan recap. We got Christopher Bell winning stage 1, Denny Hamlin winning stage 2, Kevin Harvick wins the race, gets him into the playoffs, which leaves Martin Truex in a precarious position, which we'll talk about in a second. So we have the rain delay to start. Big surprise, NASCAR can't figure out how to deal with the rain. And it changes the track. We saw some setups not work off the beginning. At the competition caution, some teams pit, some stay out, and that's kind of a snowball effect as it just changes the pit strategy. And that was really important, as we saw later in the race. We have a big wreck on the restart after that competition. Cindric and Kyle Busch get taken out. Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, they have amazing cars, and then we see Cole Custer blows a tire and the car catches on fire while pit stops are going on, which throws the field into complete chaos. Trackhouse Racing, Chastain and Suarez. I thought they had two of the best cars that were kind of evolving as the race went on. I really liked their speed. They get to the front and they're racing each other. It was almost Formula One-esque as you have two teammates not necessarily racing each other, just kind of follow the leader a little bit, setting up for a really, really good finish. Unfortunately for them, it doesn't quite work out. Chastain and Christopher Bell get together as Trackhouse comes out of the pits. They try to pit those guys together. They get separated. We get a caution. The field gets completely flipped. So you end up with cars, in my opinion, that were not necessarily fast all race, like Joey Logano. He ends up at the front kind of by sheer luck. Kevin Harvick ends up with the lead, and he flexes his muscle once again as the closer. Logano in second place slows everybody down. I said Logano ending up front was incredible. What dumb luck by him and that team, because that car was trash all day. Harvick just pulls ahead. Then we get Daniel Suarez gets a flat tire, and we know what we're thinking. Oh, here comes the NASCAR restart at the end. No caution. I don't know what NASCAR is doing with this no caution at the end. Every other race, when a car gets a flat tire like that and pieces of rubber are flying up, you get a caution. But Kevin Harvick goes on to win the race because we do not get a restart. So Kevin Harvick moves into the playoffs with the win. Trackhouse Racing looked like they were in perfect position to control that race. And both of them just don't get the results, but that's racing. So congratulations to Kevin Harvick. That was a good run, and he did what he had to do at the end, and it was really a no-sweat win for him unless they threw that caution. Ricky Stenhouse Award, if you're new to the show, the Ricky Stenhouse Award goes to the biggest bonehead move of the race or the funniest moment or the unforced error. Not too many. I'll go with Ross Chastain's pit team has two tires get away from them on a pit stop. One rolls forward into someone else's pit stall. One goes sideways into the pit road. Then Ross Chastain gets in the side of Christopher Bell coming out of the pits. That was Christopher Bell's fault, though. Chastain gets onto the track. He's coming out of the pits. He doesn't have all the speed. Christopher Bell forced the issue, and that was Christopher Bell's fault, not Ross Chastain's. And then Denny Hamlin, too many men over the wall. That's his 31st pit penalty of the year. He had the best car. Denny Hamlin was going to win that race. He by far had the best car. But once again, penalties get in the way. It's why it's so tough to bet on Denny Hamlin, because you're betting on him and you're like, I have the best car and I have the best driver. And now, why are there too many men over the wall? Or why is there a tire rolling down pit road that came from Denny Hamlin's pit stall? So, not really sure how they fix it. Denny Hamlin said as much. Like they're stuck with the crew that they are. We're getting close to the playoffs. I don't know what changes they can make unless they try and take crew members from another team. But who are you going to take? You're not going to take Kyle Busch's crew. You're not going to take Christopher Bell's crew. So, not really sure what's going to happen there. I do have a theory though that if Martin Truex doesn't make the playoffs, miraculously, if he doesn't make the playoffs, they'll just take Truex's crew and put him on Hamlin. So the winner has got to be Ross Chastain. Listen, with these new tires, letting one get away is bad enough. Letting two on the same pit stop get away is unforgivable by far. The biggest unforced error is Ross Chastain's pit crew letting two tires get away from him. So I want to do a playoff recap because of what happened in the race. So let's just go through the points. So Chase Elliott is number 1. Ross Chastain is number 2. Joey Logano is 3. Joey Logano has 2 wins. That blows my mind that Joey Logano has 2 wins. The guy's car has not been very good. So then 4th is Ryan Blaney, who has 0 wins. And why is this important? Ryan Blaney has 728 points. So let's go through the rest of the playoffs. William Byron has 2 wins. He's in. Kyle Larson has a win. He's in. Hamlin, Reddick, Bell, Kyle Busch, Chase Briscoe, Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, Daniel Suarez, Austin Cindric, and Alex Bowman. They all have wins. The problem is Martin Truex Jr., who has 709 points, but he does not have a win. He is on the outside looking in. So he either needs to get a win or he needs to get ahead of Ryan Blaney for the points. But right now, Martin Truex, who has more points than most of the drivers that are in the playoffs, is on the outside. Harvick was facing a similar situation, and Harvick gets the win, so he's automatically in. Truex and that crew, they need to get a win, or they need to pass Blaney in points, and they've got a really, really good track that they love. That's Richmond. So let's get into the Richmond track. You guys know it. It's smaller / intermediate type course. These new cars, it's very, very hard to pass. They raced there earlier this year, and it was shockingly boring. No passing, and got some banking, but this is going to be, I think it's going to have a different feel than earlier this year. Guys are used to their newer cars, but expect some pit stop strategy. Expect some guys to not take tires and try and get track position because, as we've seen, taking new tires doesn't necessarily mean that you can blast through the field. And on a track like this that's so hard to pass, if you're a car that's, outside the top 10 or in the teens and you need to move to the front, maybe taking 2 tires instead of 4, maybe taking fuel only might be an option. I think you're going to see some rolls of the dice and some guys gambling on this just because of how hard it was to pass earlier this year. Let's take a look at the best average finish the last 5 races at Michigan. Obviously, the one earlier this year was with the new cars. This is a Martin Truex track. His average finish 2.6 the last 5 races. That's best by far. Up next, Denny Hamlin, 4.0. Kyle Busch, 6.8. Christopher Bell, 7.0. And Joey Logano, 7.8. I would be a little hesitant to bet on Joey Logano despite his good track history here. It seems like when he gets up by the front, it's a little bit lucky. I don't think it's really indicative of how good his car has been this year. I don't think his driving's been bad. I think his car is just lacking. So Joey Logano is a fade or nothing for me. I don't see how I can get to the window with a Joey Logano ticket. So, but you got to look for Truex to be pushing it. He's the most motivated driver in the field by far this week. This is a track that they can win. So I look for really good results from Martin Truex. Let's get to the free bet. My auto racing pack is up on WagerTalk.com. We've been doing really, really good in auto racing this year. We're hovering around that 59%. We're right around 60%, which is fantastic. And you know what? I'm going to buy into Bubba Wallace. I'm a believer right now. So my best bet is going to be Bubba Wallace top 10. When I look at Bubba Wallace, his last few finishes, 2nd, 5th, 8th, and 3rd. And we saw the emotional Bubba Wallace. He thought he should have won. He made a mistake on the restart. He took the wrong position. I didn't think that was too egregious of a call, but he was crying and pretty emotional about it. I just think his car and his team have just gotten a lot better, and the results prove it. This was a pit crew that has struggled all year, lots of mistakes, but you can't argue with third, eighth, fifth, and second. His that Toyota engine is really good. His driving has gotten a lot better. Listen, Bubba has been known for some of his bonehead moves. He'll be the first to tell you he hasn't driven nearly as good in years past as he's been driving this year. And the results, now that the team has got their act together, you see it. And I like these guys that are peaking as the season goes on. I think this is a pretty good track for Toyotas. Wouldn't surprise me to see Bubba running up there again. And listen, Bubba cashed top Toyota last week. You probably got great odds on that. So shop around for Bubba Wallace top 10 if you're going to follow this play. It's minus 140 on the domestics. I find some of the better lines to be on some of the other books. So Bubba Wallace top 10, I'm going to ride the momentum with him. I really like the confidence that he's driving with. I like his team. I certainly like the Toyota engines. And, this is a guy that if he gets a win, I mean, this is a guy that has finished second and third 2 of the last 4 weeks. He also finished 5th at a road course. But New Hampshire, he finished 3rd. This is not that track is not totally different from Richmond. And I expect Bubba to be up there by the front, near the front. So I think top 10 is a really good bet. Don't be surprised if he's running in the top 5. So best bet is going to be Bubba Wallace top 10 this week. Don't tell Rocky Atkinson I'm betting on Bubba. He may never talk to me again. So let's have a profitable weekend, guys. Let's go grab the pack at WagerTalk.com. All plays for NASCAR race are going to be up there. If you get the pack, and there's only one play in it, don't worry. There will be more after practice and qualifying. So make sure you check all of your updates. Plays will be finalized before the green flag. So let's have a great weekend. Let's have a profitable race. Good luck, and I will see everyone next week on another episode of Life in the Fast Lane.